a functioning workplace, like a thriving culture, is more than just doing your job.
It's like good enough, so you gotta be great, and I'ma do whatever it takes. Doing what I love in life, and I'll pay the price, and not stopping even if the shit kills me, even if it kills me.
Hi everyone and welcome to MattGron's Scaling Up Journey. My name is Mattias, aka MattGron, and this is where entrepreneurship runs smack into reality. And today we are recording episode 71. And yes, there is still a sunny Stockholm.
It's a bit cooler
the
now.
weather is good. Yeah, it's a little bit colder, but I mean, it's still nice.
So who am I, Mattias?
Yes, on the other side, we have the one and only
only.
Svea Malina Landshoff with double O at the end.
Thank you. You spice it up every time. Welcome to MattGron's Scaling Up Journey from Gronborg, live 40 minutes north of Stockholm. It's our Wednesday episode, and it's already 71. I still cannot believe we did 71 episodes already. Like, we're hitting 100 soon. Kinda soon.
Yeah.
All right. So on our Wednesdays,
Amazing.
we talk about topics that I come up with, or specific topics I come up with. And today I was thinking about talking about the individual workspace, because I think as different as people are, there are different approaches on how to get work done the best way when it comes to the place where you're working at, your method, or the working hours that you prefer. Like, open question again, as always. I just want to hear your opinion on that. Like, do you think it's a good idea to make the workspace very personal to everyone? Why not, maybe? What's your take on that?
Wow. Good question. I must say I really want to give you some kudos for all the questions you always come up
Thank you.
with. It's not an easy task to ask questions, and
You always come up with something new.
But I still think I mean, we are testing and exploring some new waters here.
Absolutely.
What do you say in English? Sailing uncharted waters or something.
It's something like that, yeah. We're not know where it's going yet.
But I mean, I think that's now I'm not answering your question as usual. I'm talking about the questions instead and uncharted waters. But I think it's a very important movement because I think we kind of finding new angle on the vlog, and yeah. So this morning I actually was thinking about, as I always do, I was thinking about like, where are we now? Where are we headed? And kind of at the same time, I'm working on some of the branding stuff, and Andres is developing the new MattiasGronborg.com website, and I'm also thinking a lot about like how to market the vlog in the best way. And so yeah, that was my 50 cent on
that was on your
questions
mind today.
we are or you are asking me, so I think that's super good. So yeah, let's talk about today's topic. So what is how much freedom should an employee have when it comes to their way of working? That's the question, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think I mean, it's a very relevant question now. I mean, post-COVID times, when a lot of companies, they are kind of having different approaches regarding where people should work now when the fall comes here in Sweden after the vacation. And I mean, some companies, they apply like a 100% back at office, and other people, they kind of, or other companies, they have the approach that everyone kind of have their own choice to make where they want to work, and some they have the hybrid version of it, which could mean like you should be at the office a couple of days each week.
Yeah.
So I think first I want to say like my standpoint is kind of that as long as you're delivering your expected, KPIs and contributing to iGoMoon's purpose and goals, then I don't see any kind of restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
And but then there's I think a super important thing to consider when it comes to this, and that is how should I say, the engagement part, which means that like a functioning workplace, like a thriving culture is more than just doing your job, because I think a lot of times everyone is talking about I'm so much more efficient, but that's a company and building a culture, being part of something bigger than yourself. That's not just about being efficient and
I get that.
get the individual's daily life works in the most efficient way. So I think that aspect is something you rarely hear in that discussions, and I see it from like a leadership standpoint, something that it's super important to address. So I'm not sure if I'm answering your question. I
have one follow-up question, actually. Sorry to interrupt, but you said earlier that as long as people meet their KPIs, you don't really see a problem to have some individual approaches to how to work best. So does it mean kind of hard to formulate this question, but do you think people should work like 9 hours a day? Would you say, okay, you know what, if you're that efficient and get it done in 7 hours, then get it done? Or what's your take on that? I'm curious to hear this from a CEO.
Again, it depends what you want to create, right?
As a leader or as an employee?
As a leader. What kind of vision do you have for the company? Is the vision that still the most important thing when it comes to leadership, that's to set a clear structure, because at the end of the day and the week, people really want like a clear structure to follow. And I think there is still a big difference being a freelancer and actually being employed. And I think I think it's super important to set a clear structure for everyone to follow. You were asking about the kind of the working hours, and if I ask you the question, let's say you are in charge of a company, and you have a vision to build a global company with an office on 3 different continents, and let's say you are in charge of the sales team. So my question to you, so should the salespeople be working when the customers are working, or should they be working when the customers are not working?
When the customers are working, I would say, so that they reach them. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't think about it that way. Yeah.
When is that?
9 to 5, probably. Yeah.
Kind of 9 to 5. So then you have a conversation with the sales team. And then, okay, let's walk over, in our case, to the like delivery team and the service team. So when should they work?
I think we're like I guess the delivery team, the service team. I think it depends. I think the creative back end, probably the people who are like programming the website, designing it, I think for them it doesn't really matter what working hours they do. But the people who are in contact with the customer, I think they need to be available at the core hours where most people are at the office and other companies as well.
Yeah. And I would say now you are thinking as an employee. Because you were never addressing that on that side there is a sales team. And they are working between 9 and 5. Do you think there is an good idea if the sales team, if they have like a technical issue or something in the sales process, that they should be able to talk to the creative team? Yeah. Or should they just stop working then? Because this team, they are working during the nights.
Yes.
Or the evenings.
I see where you're getting at.
So now we are talking about contributing to the purpose, the vision, like
and the team. Yeah.
You know, a team pulling in the same direction.
Yeah.
So I mean, I love sports. Like, so when there is a game day, and now let's talk ice hockey as we sometimes
always do.
Yeah. So typically in a like in ice hockey, you it's a game day. You know, you show up with probably like 2 goalies and about 20 players, right? At the same time, like 7 p.m. game day. Everyone is there. It's not like half the team shows up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So when you were asking the questions, you were asking them on this level, but then there is like different levels to consider.
Yeah.
To get everyone functioning as a team, and I think that's something that is very important, because and then we can also talk about the efficient aspect. You know, I think I spoke about this in an earlier episode. I read I think it was The Economist. I love that magazine. I subscribe to it, and I read there was like a survey or something, and they had actually, you know, and they have ended up with the understanding that kind of people think they are more efficient because they are working from home, but they are not.
Yeah, because of all the extra meetings as well, right?
Yeah, you know, like just the smallest thing, you need a meeting.
Yeah.
And there is no spontaneous things going on. Like, okay, you know, as I was trying to describe before, when the sales team okay, sorry, Frank, I have a quick question. Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. I will let the customer know. You know, it's so. I hope I have kind of made my point here that there is. I think from many aspects, COVID has been really transforming everything, and there's a lot of good things going on. We could call it freedom, flexibility, hybrid working. I think the office is more a kind of a place where you meet, collab, like build relationships. It's not necessarily like a workplace with a desk, and maybe there is more flexibility with the hours. But functioning as a team, I when we're talking about working hours, I think it's you need a structure.
Yes, I agree with you. It's good you brought up this component with the team. I think I was like thinking too much as an individual, because most of the time I work individually. So I think I can just work whenever it fits me, but you're 100% right. If you have a team who depend on one another, you have to be there at the same time, available for each other.
Yeah, but I would say 9 out of 10 people, they think exactly as you did. And that's like, basically, like, this is my work. And I think that's where the leadership is super important, and the communication around that.
Yeah.
Like, where are we going as a team? Oh, it's great. Of course, you should have some kind of flexibility, but you contributing to the team, it's a part of the work. It's a part of actually, being here at iGoMoon, and now I'm talking about iGoMoon. I mean, it's not just checking off the boxes.
Yeah.
You have also a responsibility for your colleagues, for the leaders, for the purpose, the vision,
absolutely.
the values. So that's engagement. And what I have seen on the backside when you fail with that leadership is that people, they become more selfish, they become more insecure, and I honestly, I think that how should I say, like the what you say, like the burned out rate, and the backside of COVID, maybe people get more into
psychological problems, or
something like that, probably.
Yeah.
In Swedish we say psykisk ohälsa.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think for
unhealthy psychology things.
Yeah.
Issues.
So I think for iGoMoon, like, now you really made me understand the, like you said, like the layer above your own personal view. I think for iGoMoon, it makes a lot of sense that people are working at the same hours, and I mean, best case scenario, probably on the same place, or like you said, maybe hybrid version. But I think what is standing out a lot, and what you're talking about a lot, is people have more flexibility, I think, in the way of how they work, right? Because you're talking about self-leadership a lot. I think you trust your employees a lot, that they know how to do things right, and you don't control them all the time, right? Because I just I think I mentioned that before, at my old workplace, it was like I had to time report basically every single minute of my day, exactly saying how many customers did I like work with, what did I do, when did I go to the toilet, basically was like that. And I have a view that iGoMoon is not like that. It's more like you trust the people who work for you, but they also need to have self-awareness and be able to do self-leadership, right?
What should I say? I mean, every person is different, and they might need leadership is also, I mean, there has been times like when here at iGoMoon during COVID, you have been able to work from kind of anywhere, like it's up to you. We haven't had a policy that you need to be at office, and let's see how the COVID numbers where they are now during the fall. If are they rising or are they declining? I mean, if we are if COVID. If we are going, what should I say?
It's getting better? When you mean if it's getting better, then...
let's say that. It's getting better. And then we have been talking about going back to like a hybrid version, which means we kind of start the week together on Monday, and then we close the week together on Friday. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you are able to actually work from home or where it fits you. But we still have, like the working hours, like 8 to 5. We have flex, basically, which means you can start between 7 and 9 and stop between 4 and 6.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share that there is times when people they are not leading themselves, I mean, that means you need to kind of, if you fail to lead yourself, then my responsibility as a leader is to instruct you what you need to do to actually, move forward. And and the person next to you is kind of doing a great job leading herself. I shouldn't kind of change her or kind of control her, how she works, but I might need to instruct you, saying, okay, you need to work at the office Monday, Friday for a couple of weeks or a couple of months before you are confident in doing this task.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say, sometimes you need to lead people with clear instructions, and because maybe you are not doing so well on your own.
So I get that there are different kind of people. Some people, I think, they really need instruction and they feel comfortable with this, and I think other people, including me, I just like to to figure out things myself. But also, I think this is also another thing, if you instruct people and like help them and show them how to do it, and controlling. I think for me, controlling is another part where it's just that you don't show them trust or you don't think they can do their job. And then I think, why hire them in the first place if you just control them every minute of their working day? You see, like, I'm always like putting in a bit of my previous experience, because it was so frustrating. It's the only thing I can compare to. This is just what for me was talking to you was just outstanding to me, that I think you have a lot of trust for people who work for you. And I think that's a great thing and a good base to start. And obviously, like you said, maybe sometimes it doesn't work out and then you have to get people back on track. But I think you don't lose trust in them, as far as what I can see from here.
Yes, if you were asking people I've been working with over the years, a lot of them could probably say that I've been a control freak, and I've been asking them to do things in a way they don't want to do it. And so but of course, I'm also human, and I've been developing over the years, and so there is different sides of the coin. And
I think it's a hard job to find like the balance between giving people freedom but also keeping them kind of on the right track. I think it's like the sweet spot somewhere in between, where good leadership is, for me personally.
Yeah, and it's again, so many things depends on depends on where you are going. How big is the company, like is it a lifestyle business, 5 people? Is it 500 employees? Yeah,
I get your point. Is there anything special you want to add to this episode? Because I would say otherwise we hit the 25-minute mark soon, so I would say we should wrap it up for this episode. But if you have a takeaway, feel free to share it.
But I think my biggest takeaway on this topic is that before COVID, as I admitted, my background as an entrepreneur started a lot as a control freak, that I did everything, and I wanted that people should do things in a way that I thought was the best, instead of giving people freedom. And I was kind of anxious when COVID hit, okay, should everyone work from home now? How should this end? And I would say that one of my biggest mistakes as an entrepreneur is actually just that. It has it has turned out working really good, and I also want to say that you were asking for the takeaway, like test. I mean, be what? Okay, so my English is blowing away. What I want to say is, don't be afraid to try new things, and I think that's what we do here at iGoMoon. We try different things on this topic, and we learn from there, and we kind of try to also really not try, but I want to say that, like, the most important thing is to listen to everyone and like find a solution that actually works, and also super important to communicate and set clear like a clear structure.
Thank you for the takeaway and for the insights. You broadened my horizon today, thinking about the next level, not just the employee point of view that I had before. And thank you guys for watching. And if you like this, please subscribe, give this video a like, leave a comment, and see you in the next one. Thank you.
Thank you. See you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.